Good evening and welcome to Coffee with a Kick. It is the time for Champions League predictions. We have the soccer coming at you fast and loose, no, hot and heavy here for the next couple weeks with midday EPL action, midweek EPL action, and midweek Champions League action. For this week, it is the Champions League that'll be coming up here. Match day 5, some pivotal matches as we close in on the last match day. We'll see if any of them actually go to the last day. There are a couple that probably will. Some of them are already settled. So we'll get through those quickly and then get to the good stuff. Starting off, we'll just go ahead and kick it right into it. After you go ahead and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the ringing bell and go to X. Follow us there if you like watching videos on X. Go ahead and bookmark the episode on X if you know how to do that. Anyway, starting with Group E, because they're the ones who play on Tuesdays. The E through H'ers play on... H'ers doesn't sound like a term I should use, but E through H'ers are on Tuesday. This one is up in the air for whether Atletico Madrid, Lazio, or Feyenoord will go through. They're on 8, 7, and 6, respectively. So very pivotal matches on this one. I have it as Lazio beating up on Celtic because they're not good. They get 3-1, and then Feyenoord surprises they're at Feyenoord. They've been playing pretty well at home. They think they surprise Atletico Madrid at home and take it 2-1, really putting the pressure on Atletico Madrid to come back and win their last match.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think, as much as I want Celtic to win the game, I think it'll be 3-0. I think going to Italy, they're not going to be able to beat up Lazio. I think Lazio, this will be the game that puts them through. I think this will be the sealer that they go through.
Yeah.
Because I think, despite me wanting Feyenoord to win, I think Atletico is going to take it 2-1. Because a couple of match weeks ago, they got caught off guard by, I think it was Celtic. They got caught off guard. I don't think they're going to get caught off guard again. I think they're going to go into the Dutchman's palace and they're going to get it done.
They know
Lazio, Atletico Madrid moving forward.
They know their duty here. It's winning in. That's all they got to do. Winning you're in for Atletico and for Lazio, probably for Atletico it's winning in. Lazio basically winning in. Feyenoord, you really at least need to get a point out of this to have a shot at it, and then you'll see what happens in the other match. But I think that it should be a nervy match there for Atletico and Feyenoord. I think it is going to be a close score there. I don't see either side really going above and beyond on that. But yeah, be definitely watching that Feyenoord Atletico Madrid match because that will be the tastiest. Now going to a group that I don't know if it could even be settled. This match day. Group F, which we predicted as the group of death because it was very obviously the group of death from the draw. Dortmund resurrected themselves in these last two match days, going from 1 point to 7 points and top of the table in the last two match days. So that was crazy. And they still only have 3 goals for. So it is very tight there for Dortmund. They take on, they go to AC Milan, and then PSG hosts a very depleted Newcastle. We'll get to that in the other episode, that they're sitting on like 10 injuries, at least on the EPL match day. We'll see if they get anybody back for Tuesday, but how do you have these two shaking out here?
I think I have to put AC Milan pipping Dortmund 2-1. I think they're going to come out with a little bit more fire, understanding they have to get some points to go forward. And same thing with Newcastle. I think they go into Parc des Princes and they win 2-1 as well. Because pretty much, depending on how the other match goes, it could be if they lose, they're out of it. Because if Dortmund win and PSG win, it's looking like Newcastle, based on points, could not then move forward. So I think they're going to understand that, and they're going to come out with a little bit of bite. I think they get the away win.
That would certainly shake things up if Newcastle gets a win. I've got it as a 1-1 draw for PSG with a late equalizer on PSG side. I think Newcastle gets one early and sits back and plays that defensive style that they are very adept at pulling off. But PSG gets a late equalizer, which makes things interesting. Doesn't knock Newcastle out for sure, but it definitely makes things interesting. And then I do have the same result as you, AC Milan getting all 3 at home against Dortmund. Mine is a little more exciting, 3-2, but that leaves a lot to go for the last match day there. If either of our results hold, yours especially would be, I mean, what we've got, that would be Newcastle at 7, Dortmund at 7, PSG at 6, and Milan at 8. So they would all still be in play for moving through at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Group F living up to, well, I don't know if it's living up to the hype necessarily because there haven't been a lot of goals in the group, but definitely as far as competition level, living up to the hype. Moving down to Group G, this is one of the ones we don't have to spend a lot of time on because Man City and Leipzig have cleaned up when they weren't playing each other. I've got it as
they're already through.
Yeah, they're both through. I think that Man City pulls off like a really tidy 2-0 victory. I don't think that you probably won't see. I think that Pep will want to seal up the group without having an issue. So I think he doesn't put in a bunch of subs to start off the match. Maybe brings on some at like the 60th minute. Brings on like Phil and Alvarez maybe in the 50th minute, 60th minute of the second half if things aren't going well. But I think they go 2-0, nice and tidy. And then Svernesvedje and Young Boys, like who cares what goes on with them? But I think that they just have a crazy 3-3 draw. I just feel like just a really weird one where they're having fun at least.
Yeah, I think in that one, my crazy prediction was a 0-0 draw.
Oh.
I think both of them try so hard to just say, hey, neither of us want to even go to the Europa League.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to focus on our domestic league, that we're just going to try and not score. So that's how I have that one. City, I don't know. I think we're going to go with a little bit of a not as good, I want to say not as good lineup, but we're pretty thin.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to be okay with, I think we'll end up losing 2-1.
Really?
I think we won't go perfect. I wish we would, but I think we're going to rest a few guys and probably play some academy guys as well. So
yeah. I mean,
I'm going 2-1 Leipzig with the win.
Even with a Leipzig win, I mean, your goal difference is good enough that you'll still be through because you'll have split the home and aways. So it's not. Yeah, you're going a little bit more lighter than I was going, but City's not concerned. City is not concerned right now with Champions League. Yeah. They're through. They're going to win the group because they still have. I think they have Young Boys left, right? No. They have Svernesvedje left to play the other half of their group, whatever. All right. Yeah, and then down to Group H, which top 3 boys all still have something to go for. Barcelona and FC Porto both sitting on 9, with the head-to-head, I believe, being the decider there. Is that right? Yeah, must be the head-to-head. And then Shakhtar at 6, so they're not out of it either. Shakhtar gets Antwerp. Big for Shakhtar to get Antwerp here, because Antwerp is bad as far as Champions League contests are concerned, with having a negative 11 goal difference on 4 games. And then Barcelona hosts FC Porto. What you got here?
Yeah, Shakhtar getting a really nice draw. I think they win 3-1. I think they get the job done. They get to 9 points. And I think that Porto obviously has a very, very nice goal difference on Shakhtar. It's like 7 difference. I think no matter who, I don't know. I think Porto-Barcelona is going to be a draw. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think both teams will want to get the win, and they'll end up fighting towards a draw. And I think that's going to ultimately help Shakhtar.
Yeah.
Because I think Shakhtar is going to win their next one after this. We'll do that prediction another day. But I think that they're going to beat Antwerp, get the momentum, and I think the Porto-Barcelona draw will help them kind of move forward after this weekend.
Yeah, I've actually got the same set of results. I've got a 4-0 for Shakhtar, but I have a 2-2 draw for Barcelona and FC Porto. And that makes that Porto Shakhtar final group matchup on December 13th the decider for who goes through.
In Portugal. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. I still think, obviously, Shakhtar had them going through, so I hope that they pull off the win. But it'll be interesting because
definitely.
I don't know. This is one of those that isn't settled till last match week.
No, but we will. Yeah, that'll definitely make it a very interesting last match day with the 2 teams at 10 and 1 at 9, and then still 0 points for Antwerp. Then we'll skip on up to the top of the table, well, the top of the groups at least, for Group A, which Bayern has salted away their top place finish here. The other teams can't figure out who goes through. We've got Copenhagen and Galatasaray at 4, Manchester United at 3 points, with Galatasaray and Man U going head-to-head, and then Bayern taking on Copenhagen in, I don't know what their stadium is called, but in Germany.
In Germany.
I've got, since Galatasaray hosts, I think that they take a 1-0 victory here over Man U, and really, that bumps Man U out. That would end their European, well, probably their European expedition. We'll see if they can get the do they both go to Europa 3 and 4, or is it just 3?
I think just 3. I think 4 might go to the European Conference League, the new league they created last year.
Whatever that matters for. And then Copenhagen, I think Copenhagen gets taken out 4-1. I don't think that they have a shot. They're at Bayern, so I don't think they have a shot, which leaves the last match day as important, right? Because I think that would be hold on, let me double check here. Yeah, because it'll be Copenhagen Galatasaray for the last match day. Yeah. What you got?
Yeah, I think Bayern takes it. I think Copenhagen starts out hot, gets an early goal. I think Bayern takes it 3-1. Obviously, in Allianz Arena, I think they'll take it. And then
sure.
I can't see Man U going into Turkey and winning. I think, as you'll hear in our other Premier League recap episode, they took care of business on the weekend better than they have all year. I don't think that changes anything for the Champions League. I think that, like you said, I had the same thing, 1-0 victory for Copenhagen or for Galatasaray.
Yeah, just to grind it out.
It's at home. They know if they win, they're in pretty much. Especially if Copenhagen lose. I don't see Copenhagen winning the next match week either. So Galatasaray knows this is probably the biggest game of the year. I think they pull it out. Yeah,
it's not a lot of interesting action for Group A, but we'll see what happens. Group B is second place. Well, technically, anybody could still win the group. Technically. But Arsenal hosts Lens, and PSV goes to Sevilla, who technically they're not out, but they're sitting on only 2 points. How do you have these two matches going for you? Arsenal recently top of the table in the in England.
In Europe.
No, they're not top in Europe. They lost to Lens, so not in Europe.
Yeah, I don't think they get it done this time, referring to Lens. I think Arsenal wins comfortably 3-0. Oh. It's at the Emirates. I think they feel pretty comfortable at home this season. I think they end up doing it. Yeah, I think Arsenal ends up doing it. What do you think?
Well, what about Sevilla PSV?
Oh, well, I was trying to do some back and forth banter there.
Oh, okay, right. For back and forth, I've got it as Lens gets a point out of it. I mean, that doesn't help them a ton, personally, but I think Lens gets a point out of it. Arsenal Arsenal are not. I mean, their match over the weekend was a dull match. We'll get to it in the other episode.
They seem like a different team when Champions League comes around. I don't know if you noticed that.
They are scoring more, that is for sure. I mean, but I think that Lens gets the point 1-1. Not a very exciting match. Just kind of stuck at loggerheads there for most of it. But I think they go 1-1. And then but Sevilla PSV, I've got it as a Sevilla victory, which really upsets things here because that puts second place totally in grasp for any of the teams because the Lens will have it technically at 6, but then PSV and Sevilla will be at 5 apiece. So they go 2-1 Sevilla over PSV.
I saw a stat that said that PSV is the only team in all of Europe, no matter what league you look at, that has won every single game. They have not drawn, they haven't lost a domestic game.
Okay, domestically they have not lost.
Champions League they've lost.
Okay, yeah.
Domestically though, they haven't.
Okay.
Especially at home. Their goal difference is like 4 or more at home. It's ridiculous. Wow. I think they ride that into the Champions League, and I think they win. It's going to be close. I think 2-1, but I think they pull out the victory, and PSV relatively, depending on how Arsenal and Lens go, could creep up into that made-it spot.
It'd be very close. Let's see. I think they would have to rely on...
based on goal difference, it would look like, unless they lose by a lot.
Hold on. Yeah, because it would be PSV hosts Arsenal for the last one. Yeah, goal difference, it would be close. We'll see. We'll see. With your result specifically, it would put Lens at -3 and PSV at -2. So they would be leading on goal difference going into the last match day. I guess
this year in the Champions League, head-to-head matters more.
Head-to-head's more?
Because currently they're on the same amount of points. PSV has the less goal difference, but they're ahead of Lens. So I think that they're giving more weight.
First tiebreaker is head-to-head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes, because it would have been draw and then PSV won against Lens last match day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we figured that out, obviously. And then
so if they win, they're pretty much in.
Yeah, win and in, pretty much. Yeah, no, win and in because they hold the head-to-head. Duh. Simple. Group C, Real Madrid sitting on 12, looking pretty. Napoli basically have second wrapped up. Technically, Braga has a shot at it, but it's not a big shot. Real Madrid hosts Napoli in this one, and Braga hosts Union. Excuse me, let me say it the German way. Union Berlin. I'll go ahead and start off with, I think Madrid takes it to Napoli 4-0. I just think they go off on this one. They haven't really had a big win so far, so I think they take this one nicely.
Yeah, I think Real Madrid, I think Napoli will give them a run for their money a little bit. Another early goal. But I think it ends 3-1. Real Madrid with the win. I think it's at the Bernabeu, so I just can't see Napoli going in there and winning.
No.
Now, Union Berlin, obviously they had that 13-loss streak. Obviously. I think they get the win versus Braga. 2-0. I think they get it, and they go out with a bang. Because they're not going to win Matchweek 6, but they'll get their win in Matchweek 5. And
maybe make their way into some Europa League action. You could see it might very well happen. I have Braga going down 3-1 actually to Union Berlin. I mean, like I've said for previous picks, I think this is more aspirational than likely, considering they will be doubling their goals across all 4 matches in this singular one if Union gets 3. But yeah, I'm rooting for Union, obviously, because I picked them to go second. So I want them to look as good as possible.
I mean, there's still a chance. Not actually. Head to head, not actually.
Do they not? Do they play? Napoli they play Real in the last one.
So yep. So Napoli.
Okay. Yeah.
Technically, they're eliminated from advancement.
Yeah. They would be. Too bad. I was like, oh, maybe. No chance. And then for Group D, another one that's done and dusted, except for who gets first. Inter and Real Sociedad are both on top. Real Sociedad on goal difference because they drew the first match. And then Salzburg and Benfica are also here. Benfica, really disappointing. They have 1 goal so far in all 4 matches. I didn't have them scoring, did I? No, I didn't. Good for me. I have them actually getting thrashed 5-0. Inter's going to double up on their goals for in the Champions League and just really take it to Benfica. And then Real Sociedad beats Salzburg 2-0. I think that neither of these are. You could see these. I think they both want to try to win though. Real Sociedad and Inter, because they want to be the match group winner and not have to play somebody else. Not have to play a match group winner.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Sociedad gets it. I had 3-1. Mm-hmm. I think they're just a better team than Salzburg. Salzburg's one of those, academy pipeline teams that all the guys come through. They start at Salzburg, and they go to RB Leipzig, and then Leipzig ships them off to the world. So, they have some talent, but they're just not going to be a team that ever advances. Mm. Now, Benfica and Inter. I would love to say that Benfica is going to do something in this game. I think it'll be 2-0 Inter. I don't think it'll be a thrashing. Benfica, very uncharacteristic in the Champions League. I mean, they've just been lackluster, like you said, not scoring a ton of goals. Haven't even drawn.
No, it's
0-4.
Terrible.
That continues. And I think Inter gets comfortably 2-0 win.
Yeah, and that'll leave some interesting action for the last match day of group stages, if things hold as well. Either of us, I think, have some interesting stuff. Obviously, it's different because we make different picks, but we will see in the end how it all shakes out. Well, while we wait for those to kick off, go ahead and check out our episode tomorrow morning for the Premier League review. I would put a link in here, but the show doesn't come out till tomorrow morning. So check it out then. In the meantime, go ahead and watch some soccer. Wait, let me start over because
we've only done this.
I've only done this
tens of times,
several times. Why don't you go ahead and grab some coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you